His roles as an action star, leading man in romantic comedies, and even an ancient Greek king have made him one of Hollywood's biggest stars. In his latest film, Gerard Butler plays a violent drug user and dealer who then turns his life around and becomes a preacher who fights to help orphans in the war-torn regions of Africa.
The entire rebel army has put a bounty on your head.
I must be doing something right.
They burn it down.
Nothing left. It's over.
Get off your butt and build it again. You hear me?
Sam, wait.
See, we'll wait and get you.
This place does not need more guns.
Why don't you fight the evil in this place your way and let me fight it mine?
Please welcome the star of Machine Gun Preacher, Gerard Butler. This role that you play, it's extraordinarily intense. I mean, the opening scenes of the movie are just stunning, and I think people are rocked back in their chair from the very opening scenes. You play a guy, a bad guy, who turns his life around. What attracted you to the role of Sam Childers? What made you say, I want to do that movie?
I think that's a big part of it right there, is coming across this story of a guy who just didn't know how to live in his own body, didn't know how to live in this world, lost, you know, his kind of spiritually bankrupt and an addict and violent, who then finds a way to turn around his life with God. And I find those stories inspiring. It's a true story as well. Then he finds purpose in his life, and the idea that when you find that purpose and that belief, that it is incredible where that can take you, how far you can go with that, backed with a God is happening. Just the power of belief in itself. It just felt like a really interesting character that I could get my teeth into, because he really goes through, it's such an adventure. He's an adventurous guy, a colourful guy, a dangerous guy, a humanitarian guy. He has it all going on, and the story has all of that. So I couldn't resist it.
It's a powerful personal depiction of Sam Childers. It's also very revealing about what's happening in Sudan. Prior to the movie, what did you know about Sudan, and how have you been changed by what you have learned?
You know, I was aware of the situation like anybody else did. You know, you come across an article, I'd heard about the Lord's Resistance Army, about the Civil War, but not that I knew in any greater detail than that. And it was just that the thing is, and this is why I love this movie, is there's statistics. You know, 5 million deaths in the Civil War, or 500,000 deaths at the hands of the Lord's Resistance Army, 50,000 abductions. It only means so much. They're numbers. This movie was an education for me, and I knew that it would work the same for the rest of the world. That one, it puts a spotlight on that area and allows people to see just what horrors, what savagery actually happen over there. And then it makes it intimate and personal, because suddenly the death of one child, if you're there witnessing it and seeing how that plays out and the effect that it has on everybody around them, it suddenly becomes a whole different deal. Then those statistics mean something very different.
First time you met Sam, I want you to tell me how that affected you and preparing for the role, how it affected you personally, because this is a person now you're having to get inside his head and inside his skin to be able to do this role.
Well, it's a mixture of a few things. I mean, you would love Sam. You'd meet him. You'd have a ball with him. You'd find him fascinating. Whether you agree with everything he does or not, he's a one in a million. You know, and he's a wise guy, and he's you know, he has a lot to say in life, and he has incredible stories, and he's just the kind of guy you want to hang out with and listen to. On top of that, I had some studying to do, so I was watching how he moved, how he expresses himself, what made him tick. But one of the things I really picked up from was knowing that he has been through all this, is how he talks about it, how he feels when he talks about it. I found there was an awful lot of humour in his eyes, generally, when it came to life. He has this toothpick that he uses, and he talks, and he likes to test you the way he looks at you, and yet at the same time, when he talks about his past and his drug days and those that he feels that got sick or died as a result of being involved with him, he just tears pour down his face. he has so much sadness in him as well, and pain. And that was a really fascinating thing, and that's something I wanted to get in the movie.
Gerard, this would be a great film even if it were fiction. And I sense that it has had a great impact on you, and I think this film will have a great impact on everyone who sees it. Thank you so much for being here today to share your personal perspective of being a part of this remarkable movie, Machine Gun Preacher. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. That was a pleasure.
Well, coming up, we're going to meet the real Machine Gun Preacher, Sam Childers. Stay with us.
100